For years, the Duggar family built an empire around faith, family values, and the image of a perfectly united household. To millions of viewers, they represented discipline, morality, and wholesome Christian living. But behind that carefully controlled public image, critics have long suspected there was a much darker story unfolding. And now, shocking leaked prison emails allegedly connected to Josh Duggar are reigniting those suspicions in a massive way. Because according to many online observers, Josh may have done the unthinkable while sitting behind bars, throwing his own parents under the bus. The alleged leaked messages reportedly contain emotional frustration, resentment, blame, and deeply personal comments that some believe indirectly point fingers at Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar for the way Josh was raised, protected, and repeatedly defended throughout years of scandal and controversy. If these reports are true, this could completely change the public narrative surrounding the Duggar family. For years, critics accused Jim Bob Duggar of controlling the family image at all costs, even during the darkest moments surrounding Josh's scandals. But now, people online are asking a shocking question. Is Josh finally blaming his parents for everything that happened? And perhaps even more disturbing, could these alleged emails reveal long-hidden tensions that have been quietly tearing apart one of reality television's most controversial families from the inside? Because if Josh truly feels abandoned, betrayed, or resentful toward the very people who spent years publicly defending him, this may expose fractures inside the Duggar family that viewers were never supposed to see. Social media has already exploded with reactions. Some believe the leaked emails prove the Duggar family environment was deeply unhealthy behind closed doors. Others think Josh is simply trying to shift responsibility for his own actions onto the people who protected him for years. Either way, the controversy is growing fast. Today, we're breaking down the leaked prison email allegations, the internet reaction, what Josh reportedly said, and why many viewers believe the Duggar family's carefully managed image may be unraveling faster than ever before. What made the Duggar family story so shocking to many viewers was the enormous contrast between the image they projected publicly and the controversies that later emerged behind the scenes. For years, the family built a massive following through appearances on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting, where Jim Bob Duggar and Michelle Duggar presented themselves as devoted parents raising a disciplined Christian household centered around faith, modesty, obedience, and traditional values. To millions of viewers, the Duggars represented stability and morality in a world many fans believed had lost both. Their family routines, homeschooling methods, and strict rules became part of a carefully maintained public image that turned the family into one of reality television's most recognizable names. But over time, that carefully controlled image began to crack. As scandals involving Josh Duggar resurfaced publicly, the Duggar family found itself at the center of intense backlash, media investigations, documentaries, and non-stop online criticism. The same audience that once admired the family suddenly began re-examining old interviews, television episodes, and parenting decisions through an entirely different lens. Moments that once appeared wholesome or harmless on television started drawing criticism online, with former viewers questioning whether deeper problems may have existed beneath the family's polished image all along. And throughout all the controversy, one major question has continued dominating public discussion. Was Josh Duggar solely responsible for the scandals surrounding him, or did the environment he grew up in also play a role in shaping the situation? That debate has only intensified following reports of leaked prison emails allegedly connected to Josh himself. According to online discussions surrounding the alleged messages, some readers believe the emails reveal years of buried frustration, resentment, and emotional tension involving his parents and the strict system in which the Duggar children were raised. If true, the leaks could potentially expose internal fractures within the Duggar family that were never meant to become public. And for many longtime followers of the family, That possibility may be one of the most disturbing parts of the entire story, because it challenges the very foundation of the image the Duggars spent years building in front of millions of viewers. As conversations surrounding the Duggar family continue spreading across social media, a new wave of controversy has emerged involving alleged leaked prison emails reportedly connected to Josh Duggar. And almost immediately, the internet exploded with speculation, debate, and intense reactions from longtime followers of the family. Now, it's important to clarify that many of the claims circulating online remain unverified. Much of the discussion comes from internet rumors, reposted screenshots, commentary videos, Reddit threads, and social media speculation, rather than officially confirmed public documents. But despite those questions surrounding authenticity, the alleged emails have already fueled massive online conversations, especially among viewers who have followed the Duggar family story for years. According to online discussions, the alleged messages contain emotional frustration and resentment that many people were not expecting to see. Some internet users claim the tone of the emails feels bitter, exhausted, and deeply conflicted. Others believe the messages suggest someone who feels isolated and abandoned after years of public scandal and legal fallout. What shocked many observers most was the idea that Josh may allegedly be criticizing aspects of the very family system that publicly defended him for years. Across YouTube commentary channels, TikTok clips, Reddit discussions, and Duggar-focused forums, people immediately began analyzing individual phrases and alleged statements line by line. Some online users argued the messages sounded like someone attempting to shift blame away from himself. Others believed the emails reflected years of emotional pressure connected to growing up inside a highly controlled public image. And that debate quickly became one of the biggest talking points online. Some commenters claim the alleged emails hint at resentment toward the intense expectations surrounding the Duggar family brand. The pressure to appear perfect, obedient, religious, and united in front of millions of television viewers. Others believe the messages reveal frustration over years of damage control following multiple public scandals tied to the family. For longtime followers of the Duggar story, that possibility felt especially shocking. Because for years, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar publicly stood beside Josh during some of the family's most damaging controversies. Many viewers remember how strongly the family attempted to protect its public image while facing mounting criticism from both the media and former fans. That's why these alleged leaks generated such explosive reactions online. Some internet observers interpreted the messages as signs that Josh feels abandoned by parts of the family now that he is facing the consequences of his actions alone. According to certain online theories, the alleged emails suggest frustration over who received blame publicly versus who controlled decisions privately behind the scenes. Other people strongly disagree with that interpretation. Critics argue that some online communities may be reading far too much into vague or unverified messages. They believe people are projecting their own frustrations about the Duggar family onto alleged emails that have not been fully authenticated. Others argue that even if portions of the leaks are real, emotional frustration does not erase personal accountability for past actions. And that disagreement has only intensified the internet debate. Some viewers see the alleged messages as evidence of cracks forming inside the Duggar family dynamic. Others believe the speculation itself has spiraled beyond what the available information can reasonably support. But regardless of where people stand, one thing is undeniable. The public reaction has been massive. The alleged prison emails spread rapidly across social media platforms, with creators posting breakdown videos, reaction clips, live stream discussions, and theories about what the messages could supposedly reveal about the Duggar family behind closed doors. Entire Reddit threads became dedicated to analyzing wording, tone, and possible hidden meaning inside the alleged exchanges. And for many online observers, the emotional tone of the messages became the biggest focus of all. Because whether people interpret the alleged emails as bitterness, regret, anger, loneliness, or blame shifting. Many viewers believe this is the first time Josh may have indirectly criticized the parents who defended him throughout years of public controversy. That possibility alone was enough to reignite intense public fascination surrounding the Duggar family story. And as more internet personalities continue discussing the alleged leaks, the speculation surrounding what may truly be happening inside the Duggar family only continues to grow. As discussion surrounding the alleged leaked prison emails continues spreading online, one major question keeps dominating the conversation. Is Josh Duggar finally exposing deeper problems inside the Duggar family, or is he simply trying to avoid responsibility for his own actions? That debate has become one of the biggest reasons these alleged messages exploded across social media and online forums so quickly. According to many online commentators, some of the reported language in the alleged emails appears to focus heavily on family expectations, pressure, and control. Critics claim Josh allegedly describes years of living under enormous scrutiny inside a highly structured religious household, where appearances and reputation were considered extremely important. For many readers, those comments immediately stood out because they seemed to shift part of the blame away from Josh himself and toward the environment he grew up in. And that's exactly why some people now believe he may be throwing his parents under the bus. Online critics argue that the alleged messages sound less like genuine self-reflection and more like an attempt to rewrite the narrative surrounding the Duggar scandals. Some say the reported tone of the emails feels calculated, almost as if Josh is trying to frame himself as a product of family dysfunction, rather than focusing entirely on his own decisions and actions. Others strongly disagree with that interpretation. Some viewers believe the alleged emails may actually reveal deeper emotional and psychological struggles tied to growing up in an intensely controlled environment where personal identity, independence, and emotional expression were heavily restricted. For years, former viewers of the Duggar family shows have debated the long-term emotional effects of growing up under constant public exposure, while also living under strict religious expectations and rigid family rules. Those conversations only intensified after multiple documentaries, interviews, and former insiders began publicly discussing concerns surrounding the family's leadership structure and internal dynamics. Much of the criticism has centered around Jim Bob Duggar and accusations that he spent years prioritizing the protection of the Duggar family image over openly addressing serious issues inside the household. Critics online have repeatedly argued that maintaining the family brand appeared to take priority over transparency. Because the Duggar family built its public reputation around morality, faith, discipline, and traditional values, every scandal involving the family created even more backlash from audiences who once viewed them as role models. That history is one reason the alleged leaked emails are being analyzed so intensely now. Many online observers believe that if Josh truly did express resentment toward family pressure or parental control, it could support long-running public suspicions that the Duggar household was far more emotionally complicated behind closed doors than it appeared on television. At the same time, many others believe those arguments completely miss the point. A large portion of viewers insist that no amount of family pressure, religious expectations, or public scrutiny excuses Josh's personal actions or behavior. They argue that attempting to connect his decisions to his upbringing risks minimizing individual accountability. That disagreement has created a major divide online. One side believes the alleged emails may expose years of emotional suppression, image management, and unhealthy family control inside the Duggar household. The other side believes the controversy is becoming an excuse to redirect blame away from the individual at the center of the scandal. And because the alleged emails remain heavily debated online, audiences are now dissecting nearly every reported phrase, searching for hidden meanings, coded resentment, or signs of deeper family conflict. Some internet users point to the emotional tone of the alleged messages as evidence that long-buried frustrations may finally be surfacing publicly. Others believe internet speculation has gone too far and warn that people may be projecting assumptions onto unverified claims. But regardless of which side people believe, one thing is clear: the controversy has evolved far beyond a simple prison email rumor. It has now become part of a much larger public debate surrounding accountability, parenting, religion, fame, emotional control, and the long-term effects of growing up inside one of reality television's most scrutinized families. And as more people continue revisiting the Duggar family's history, the internet's fascination with what may have really happened behind the scenes only continues to grow. As rumors surrounding the alleged leaked prison emails continue spreading online, many viewers are now asking a much larger question: what could this mean for the Duggar family itself? For years, the Duggar family built its public image around unity, faith, discipline, and strong family values. Through television appearances, interviews, books, and social media, the family presented themselves as tightly connected and deeply committed to maintaining a moral lifestyle rooted in conservative Christian beliefs. But once private family struggles become public, maintaining that image becomes increasingly difficult, especially in the age of internet speculation and non-stop online discussion. And according to many observers, these alleged leaked emails have the potential to create even more tension within a family that has already spent years dealing with public controversy. One reason these rumors have gained so much traction online is because they appear to touch on something audiences have debated for years: whether pressure inside the Duggar household may have contributed to long-standing family dysfunction. If Josh Duggar truly expressed frustration toward his parents in private communications, many people believe that could create emotional strain not only between him and Jim, Bob, and Michelle, but potentially among siblings as well. Because in large reality television families, conflict rarely stays isolated to just two people. Once accusations, blame, or resentment become public, other relatives often feel caught in the middle. Some family members may feel pressured to defend their parents. Others may sympathize privately while staying silent publicly. And some may simply want distance from the controversy altogether. That's part of why scandals involving famous families often become so complicated. Every public statement, or refusal to make one, immediately gets analyzed online. And the Duggar family is no stranger to that reality. For years now, nearly every major development involving the family has triggered waves of internet debate, reaction videos, Reddit discussions, TikTok commentary, and tabloid headlines. Old interviews get resurfaced. Past television clips get re-examined. Social media posts suddenly become evidence for new theories. And whenever another Duggar-related controversy trends online, public scrutiny intensifies once again. Many viewers now believe these alleged prison emails could reopen wounds the family has spent years trying to move past. Even if portions of the reported messages are exaggerated, misunderstood, or taken out of context, the rumors alone have already reignited conversations about accountability, secrecy, family control, and the Duggar public image. And in today's internet culture, perception often spreads faster than verified facts. That's one of the biggest challenges public figures face in the digital era. Once allegations begin circulating online, millions of people can form opinions long before the full story is confirmed. Clips go viral within hours. Headlines spread across multiple platforms instantly. Commentary channels dissect every detail, and online audiences often continue debating controversies for weeks or even years. For reality television families especially, this kind of exposure can become overwhelming. Unlike scripted celebrities who play fictional characters, reality TV personalities build fame around the idea that audiences are seeing their real lives. That means viewers often develop emotional opinions about the family itself, not just the show. So when scandals emerge, audiences can feel personally disappointed, betrayed, or emotionally invested in the fallout. And because the Duggar brand was built so heavily around morality, discipline, religious values, and family leadership, controversies involving internal blame or family conflict tend to attract enormous attention. To critics, allegations of resentment or dysfunction behind the scenes appear to contradict the wholesome image that made the family famous in the first place. Some former fans now say the public perception of the Duggar family has permanently changed. Years ago, many viewers saw the family as inspirational. But after multiple scandals, public controversies, documentaries, interviews from former insiders, and ongoing online debates, audiences have become far more skeptical. For many people, the image of the Duggar family today looks dramatically different from what it did during the peak years of 19 kids and counting. And every new controversy seems to reinforce that shift. Another major concern being discussed online is the possibility of additional leaks or revelations in the future. Whenever alleged private messages become public, internet speculation tends to grow rapidly. People begin wondering whether more emails, conversations, or behind-the-scenes stories could eventually surface. Even unverified rumors can generate huge waves of attention, especially when attached to already controversial public figures. That atmosphere can place enormous pressure on family members trying to move forward privately while still living under public scrutiny. Some Duggar siblings have largely stepped away from television and public controversy, focusing instead on marriage, children, careers, or quieter personal lives. But despite those efforts, many still find themselves pulled back into online discourse whenever the family trends again. And according to critics, that may be one of the lasting consequences of growing up inside a reality television empire. Public controversies never fully disappear. Years later, old scandals can suddenly return to the spotlight because of one interview, one documentary, one social media post. Or in this case, alleged leaked prison emails that may or may not reveal deeper family tensions behind closed doors. Whether these rumors ultimately prove fully accurate, partially true, or heavily distorted by internet speculation, the discussion itself has already had an impact. Because once public trust begins eroding, rebuilding it becomes extremely difficult. And for the Duggar family, many observers believe the damage caused by years of controversy continues to shape how the public now views nearly everything connected to their name. As the online conversation surrounding the alleged leaked prison emails continues to grow, one thing has become impossible to ignore. The Duggar family remains one of the most controversial reality television families in modern media history. For years, the family built its reputation around faith, discipline, traditional values, and the image of a tightly connected household. Millions of viewers watched them present themselves as a model Christian family capable of overcoming any obstacle together. But over time, scandals, public criticism, and deeply personal controversies have steadily chipped away at that carefully maintained image. Now, with rumors and alleged leaks once again placing the family under intense public scrutiny, many people believe the cracks behind the scenes may be becoming harder to hide. Of course, it's important to remember that much of the current discussion online is based on alleged emails, speculation, and interpretations shared across social media and entertainment forums. The authenticity and full context of these reported messages remain heavily debated. But regardless of what is ultimately proven true, the reaction itself reveals just how emotionally charged the Duggar story has become for audiences who have followed this family for years. For some viewers, these alleged messages appear to expose deeper frustrations involving control, pressure, loyalty, and the enormous expectations placed on family members inside the Duggar household. Critics argue the controversy points to years of unresolved tension hidden beneath the family's public image. Others believe internet audiences may be reading far too deeply into incomplete information, turning emotional statements and rumors into dramatic conclusions without verified evidence. In today's social media environment, speculation can spread incredibly fast, especially when it involves a family that has spent decades in the spotlight. But regardless of where people stand, the public fascination surrounding the Duggar family clearly has not disappeared. Part of that fascination comes from the contrast between the image the family once projected and the scandals that later emerged. Viewers who once saw the Duggars as symbols of stability and morality now continue watching to understand how such a carefully controlled public image became surrounded by controversy after controversy. And as more former reality television families speak openly about the pressures of fame, control behind the scenes, and the emotional toll of growing up in the public eye, conversations surrounding the Duggars continue evolving far beyond simple celebrity gossip. For many people, the story has become a larger discussion about accountability, parenting, religious influence, media exposure, and what can happen when private family struggles unfold in front of millions. At the center of all this remains Josh Duggar, a figure whose legal troubles and past scandals continue casting a shadow over the entire family legacy. And if additional information, statements, or alleged leaks continue surfacing online, the debate surrounding Josh, Jim, Bob, Michelle, and the future of the Duggar family may only grow even more intense from here. Whether this controversy eventually fades away or leads to even bigger revelations, one thing is certain. The Duggar family story continues to captivate audiences in a way very few reality television families ever have. And with that said, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time.